who are you looking at to potentially, like, based on their prior performance this playoffs and also what you expect of them this series, to possibly, from the Panthers, come home with the Conn Smythe trophy?
You know who's having a great playoff and who I would love to see win the Conn Smythe is Sam Bennett.
Ooh.
He is having an amazing playoff, and also for betting odds, he's 30 to 1. So that's a great one to take. He has 10 goals. He's leading. I think he's leading both teams in goals because their top goal scorer is Corey Perry with 7, I want to say. Or maybe I'm wrong there. I don't know. I know Connor McDavid has 6 goals, but Bennett has 10 goals in the playoffs right now. He has a lot. He's coming up big in every single round, and he's going to come up big in this round too. Nothing phases him. You know what I mean? So Sam Bennett would be a great win. Now, who I really think is going to win, I think it's going to be Bob. I think we're going to win the cup, and I think they're going to give it to Bob. And I think that's just the easy answer, the easy guy to get it. But I would love Sam Bennett.
You don't have to say that to me twice, man. I fucking love Sam Bennett. I love the way he plays.
To give him the cup also after Toronto can't get him out of their mind, and they're still talking about the little slap on the face that they whatever. You know what I mean? That would be kind of funny. That would be kind of funny.
Chris, what are you expecting? Conn Smythe, Bob. I mean, I would go with the 3 Bs here as options here: Barkov, Bennett, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it depends on how it plays out. If Bob puts on a masterclass and it's his, if it's just a general team win and no one stood out from the Oilers, then I think Barkov could end up getting it as, almost like, I don't want to call it a lifetime achievement award, but it's like who else do we give it to? I like the whole team's good. Give it to
it's
the
another
captain.
King Clancy award. It's another leadership
player.
award.
Exactly.
But
what I would love to see is, I think our strongest, like where we're going to be able to take advantage of the Oilers more than anywhere else, is when the 2 third lines match up, kind of like what we saw earlier in the playoffs, where our third line is just so much better than theirs, in my opinion. I could see someone like Brad Marchand racking up 10 points in 6 or 7 games. Maybe if he does get that overtime game winner that Steffi mentioned.
Yeah.
Brad Marchand.
We were talking about
Smythe, I'll buy
a
his
Panthers
jersey.
sweater.
We were talking about the
Brad
3
Marchand
Bs.
wins the Conn Smythe, I'll buy a Brad Marchand jersey.
There you go.
We
We should be talking about the 4 Bs. Brad, Bennett, Barkov.
Yeah, of course.
I like it.
I mean, well, that's the thing about how many the point totals so far this year. It's like, Court, it feels like anybody could just step up in a big way in the finals and sort of take that lead. Do you have anyone that you're thinking of?
So I wish I could say right now.
I know.
Should we hit the rhinoceros again, the animation?
Yeah, let's hit it one more time just for old time's sake.
Bing, bang, boom, there it goes. Conn Smythe.
Court, what are you thinking? Who's getting the Conn Smythe, and why or why not is it right now?
Well, after that, right now.
Yeah,
I do think he deserved it last year. Like that's really disappointing to me, and I don't think I'm ever gonna get over that. I really think, not just because I'm in love with him and he's my future baby daddy, he really deserves.
Got it right to Taylor's face.
Big bomb on Taylor.
I mean, I'd be pretty proud, to lose my girl to a Florida Panther,
Yeah.
I like that song.
Taylor like me after a loss, walking out of the stadium.
Exactly. Hello,
getting shoved
darkness,
by
my old friend. Sorry, go ahead.
And then I have a boring answer for this year. I do think Bob deserves it, and not only because of this year. Like, I just think the accumulation of the last 3 years, it would kind of blow my mind if anybody else got it, because we wouldn't be here, truthfully, if it weren't for him. Like, of course, Barky, like, behind the scenes, like, Chucky, like, they are, like, the morale of the team. And I think without their spine, that we probably wouldn't be here. But, when it comes to, truthfully, the games, it's Bob. We've had different backup goalies, and we still end up here. So my answer would be Bob, and that's because of the last 36 months.
You know, I agree, and I also don't think it's boring. I think it's like actually a crowning achievement on an incredible career, and like if there's a guy that deserves it, it's a guy who's been like beaten up over his $10 million contract for 4 years, and then just ignores it all, and just like, even though he probably even hated that contract, no matter how much money it was, like still willed his team. There were games where we were in the playoffs in the last 3 years where we did not have it, and he had it, and he's the reason we won.
Yeah.
To your point, we would not be here without Bob.
And I'm nervous about the conversations we're going to be having this time next year when we're coming up at the end of his contract end. I don't think Vanacek is it, and I think that's a conversation for next week that I'm super excited to get into. But yeah.
Let's
Bob.
get Spence back.
Yeah. Well, and Bob.
I would love Spency back, and thank God Ryan's not here because he would be slamming his laptop.
Nice.
Bob, even like outside of the actual, the amazing saves he makes, part of the reason we're able to play such an aggressive style is because the players know that Bob is back there. Like, we've talked about it before, how differently our structure looks when someone like Spencer Knight was in net. We just play a different style. We try to protect the goalie more. Bob, we don't protect him at all. Like we hang him out to dry constantly. And honestly, I hope we learned a small lesson from last year's finals, not to dry him out that much. But
you're talking about shot wise though. We protect him physically, but shot wise, you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to clarify that. Yeah.
Because we know he can take it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'll pinch aggressively, or we'll. Yeah. If you touch Bob, even if it's
I just wanted to clarify that for people listening. I know what you meant, but I just wanted to.
We'll push a forward into Bob, and as soon as he touches Bob, we beat this.
What the fuck's your problem, bro?
Why would you do that?
Ride for Dawn. All right, Dan.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. It's hard. I think I'd like it to be Bob, and I think the adage is that good goaltending wins championships, and it's true. Even when the saves are not as remarkable as they can be, they're saves, and play gets stopped, and you could it depends on how lucky was the chance, how good was the chance, how good was defense keeping him back. Bob, I feel, was in such great contention last year because he had some tremendous saves last year. I mean, he had what we all consider to be the greatest save of all time against the Tampa Bay Lightning when he did the old touch of life from God to Adam. Yeah. He hasn't had those this year. Now, I think if anyone deserves it, if that trophy can be awarded with, and I'm sure the voting, the context is impossible to ignore, but it should be the MVP of these playoffs. And if we're looking at it as a cumulative thing, I think Bob earns it. But we're in a place now where I feel like it's a matter of what happens in this series that determines who gets over the line. Because Bob hasn't had those saves. Like, we thought Bob was going to get it until Game 4 of the last series because of everything that had happened before. I think, Barkov is always consistent in delivering and could receive it for his performance in this playoffs.
And currently leads us in points.
Right. And maybe also with a little bit of the contextual that, Lifetime Achievement Award kind of comment, like he is great and he, but like also Sam Bennett and Brad Marchand have had huge plays, huge goals, like our third line, any one of those guys. It'd be crazy to think of like a Lundell getting his Conn Smythe trophy, but they're all in the place of, a stone's throw of one another in terms of total points and, contribution plus minus to these goals. That I think it'll be in this series that the winner is really comes forward. But I'd love to see it be Sam Bennett. To be honest, I know you'll like me on that, Taylor.
Before going to free agency,
he's been so huge, literally in so many games. Yeah,
that would be insane. Like right before you're going into free agency, just like
that's gonna be tough to recite him.
Yeah, literally wins the Conn Smythe.
No, we don't want Bennett to get it.
I don't think I want it anymore.
Then I want
take
Brad.
the trade-off. I'll take
Dan, you said Barkov.
Cup.
Could you imagine? Let's say we do win the cup, right? And Barkov gets the Conn Smythe. Can you imagine that picture with Barkov standing around the Selke, the Clancy, the Conn Smythe, and the Stanley Cup, and he's just like this, the most humble guy in the league.
And the Prince of Wales.
Oh, and, yeah, exactly.
And the Prince of Wales trophy.
Yeah, and the Prince of Wales. Oh my God.
And he wouldn't even. He'd be toothless smiling. He'd be
yeah.
like that.
It would be like his NHL draft interview when he was like,
Neat.
I heard the Panthers were interested in me and they went ahead and picked me.
That's
It's like very, very excited to have you, Mr. Barkov. My prediction, since everyone asked, I think that
Taylor.
Hey,
What's your prediction?
hey, thanks, man. You know what? I'm gonna go a little bit out of the box. I want Benny. I also want Bob. I want Barkov. God damn, I would be happy with all three. But if I'm gonna just predict and just throw out a prediction here, I think Verhaeghe is gonna have some big ass goals in this series. I think he's gonna be around like line mates that are gonna give him some space, like a Bennett or like a Kachuk. Give him some room because they'll mix up lines. Give him extra room. He's gonna be the open guy. He's gonna shoot some pucks that are gonna go into the net. Because that's how you score a goal in the NHL.
Swag's got the shot back. Swag has the shot back.
Come back next week for some in-depth analysis. No, hold on.
The team that's going to win is the team that scores more goals than the other.
When he turns his eyeglasses upside down, I know I fucked up. All right, so yeah, no. I think Verhaeghe is gonna be like the guy. And he had the big goal against Carolina. That felt fucking great. And he just has it in his bones. He's had an amazing playoffs after a down regular season. And his confidence is just built series over series. He's been putting the puck in the net, which is how you score. He's been laying the body on people and actually, being productive in other ways as well. I think he's going to have a massive series, and I think he's going to be the hero.
I like that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right, and as I mentioned, it could be anybody, right? Because everyone's putting up so many points.
Just so we're not a completely biased podcast called the Pucking Panthers Podcast, if the Oilers do win the Cup, who do you guys think wins? It's easy, right? Just McDavid? They just give it to McDavid again?
Probably.
Or do you change it?
And honestly, it could be Stuart Skinner. I mean, if he goalies us for some reason.
I don't know if Skinner has enough games played. I mean, he's been awesome lately, but I mean, Pickard had six or 8 games played first, so that's a tough one. Yeah, it could be Draisaitl.
They took away Bob's Conn Smythe because he had one bad game and then a couple shaky ones. They're not giving it to Stuart Skinner, who had a horrible 2 rounds of the playoffs and then just turned it on against the Dallas Stars.